Hello and welcome to our special program on Leaders in Islamabad Business Summit, which was a summit which included business leaders and strategists and innovators from all over the world, including Pakistan. And it was a forum where all these very talented minds could come together and share their ideas and strategies for our current leadership in business concerns. So let's speak to some of the participants from this summit who are with us today, and they're here visiting from different countries as well as from our own local pool of very talented leaders. We have with us today Alexander Shulgin, who's advisor to the Prime Minister of Russia for IT and digital media, and he's also a visionary and investor and composer. And we also have with us Mr. Mohammad Asfar Ehsan Saab, who is Walaikum Salam, who is the CEO of Nutshell Conferences, and this is the company which was responsible for hosting this entire conference and arranging it. And we also have with us Mr. Sam Lee, who is the founder Blockchain Global Limited from Australia. Thank you so much, all of you, for participating with us today.
Thanks for inviting us.
You're very welcome. And Mohammad Asfar Ehsan Saab, I want to start with you first, that your company Nutshell Conferences arranged this summit and is the third of its kind in Islamabad.
Yes.
So what I would like to ask you is that what have we gained from these conferences and why is it so important, particularly in today's climate where we're trying to build on our economy and trade and business opportunities and investment? So what do conferences like these do for Pakistan?
Actually, we initiated this Pacific Summit Leaders in Islamabad 2 years back. We hosted 2 editions already in 2017 and 2018, attended by around 800 delegates in each year with 20 global speakers. So idea was to create a platform in Pakistan where global leaders will participate, and this will be interaction with the Pakistani corporate and business leaders from National Intelligence of Pakistan with the international community. And this was a successful model, and this year we decided to make it much bigger, and this year we hosted around 1,050 delegates from all over Pakistan, in addition of 60 delegates from 25 countries. And this happened despite the recent tense situation in the border, yes, the travel advisory, the closure of airspace for a few days. And this was challenging a few weeks back, and people were advising us to call off the conference, but we decided to take this initiative because the situation on the ground was much different in comparison with the media reports. So overall, this was a successful conference, and one objective of this conference to portray the real image of Pakistan, right, the real face of Pakistan, because if Alexander is here, if Sam is here, if other are here, so their impression about Pakistan was not clear, yeah, you know, from the through the eye of the Western media and all. But they are here, and they are now aware that this is a secure place, this is a vibrant place, the people are very friendly, very, yeah, talented, and there are opportunities for investment in Pakistan as well.
And it's a great networking opportunity.
Yes, exactly.
Well. Let's ask our guests what they thought of this conference. What did you take away from this, Alexander? When you go back, what are you going to take back about Pakistan and its climate for investment and economic growth right now?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. And first of all, I want to say thank you for my friend to organize this incredible event.
Thank you. Thanks for your participation and visit of my country. And I assure you that all of you will enjoy, and when you will interact with my Pakistani colleagues, this will be a different experience. And now all of you are ready to visit again. And I assure you that you will visit again and again. So Pakistan is a land of opportunities.
Please invite for your 2020.
Yes.
11 March of 2020.
Yes, yes, yes.
So Alexander, you were telling us, how did you feel about this experience over here?
It's incredible. Mm-hmm. First of all, because it was organized very well organized. Second, when you meet in the event all global leaders to whom maybe you know many years, like Sam Lee, we know each other for many years.
Okay.
And you know, it's like all leaders in the world, they also interconnect with each other. And when you come to Pakistan, Islamabad, and you see here the many leaders you know personally, and the many which you don't know, but you have met them and make a good connection. It's a very good memory about the place. So memory is a matter, yeah, first of all. The second, you meet a lot of great local person. Pakistani, very, very warm-hearted people, and have a great potential for the future, especially because they try to achieve a lot of interesting targets. And it's, of course, Pakistan is a nice country. So I'm so happy, and I'm happy to receive invitation for the 2020 to come
Inshallah.
again, and to support all our things which we sit now.
Okay. Sam, what would you like to say about your experience? What are you taking back with you when you go home?
Well, I'd like to say that I feel very welcomed. Pakistan is a peace-loving country, and that there were over 60 delegates from 25 countries attending the leaders in Islamabad despite the frictions of recent weeks.
Yes.
And what we will take back as an international delegation is that there is a lot of opportunity, and that brand Pakistan is very much a global brand moving forward with the new government, with the new support that we have received. We were able to, in a very short space of time, in a very well-run, organized event, to meet all the business and political leaders that we need in order to feel comfortable to make investment decisions.
Oh, really?
And that, I feel, is no doubt thanks to Asfar. Thank you so much.
Let's
Again, thanks to visit my country. And in Davos, when we meet during the World Economic Forum, I assured you that this is a country, and this is the right time to visit Pakistan.
Yes,
new
indeed.
government, new leadership, and huge opportunity. So thanks for visiting, and we will facilitate you in your next visit also.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. So let's, going into now the current economic climate in Pakistan, the climate for trade and investment. Prime Minister Imran Khan, all of the measures he's taken towards a fight against corruption and austerity measures. Let's talk about that a little bit, as well as creating the e-visa policies, visa on arrival, things like that. How do you find the climate in Pakistan right now to be for further investment, and also what are the areas that we can improve in? Alexander, if you'd like to begin.
I think with my feeling is the government try to make a lot of initiative to move the country ahead. And I learned a lot from your prime minister. He is a very nice guy and very good philosopher. But I was surprised from your president, who mentioned it's the second president of the countries. You know, it's 220 countries in the world. The second president who mentioned blockchain. He mentioned blockchain, data mining. He mentioned industrial Internet of Things. Not so many countries leaders can be so innovative to mention exactly specific sector, specific topics.
Absolutely.
But he mentioned in the right way. And I think with such leaders, the nation and the innovators of the nation they have to stop to make a replica, but they have to take a risk and go like a 2-stage further to just jump to the first cabin of world economy. And Pakistanians have a lot of opportunities because there is not so many infrastructure, which is very good to establish a new age infrastructure and to be ahead of a lot of development countries. So this is, I think, opportunities a lot for Pakistani.
Asfar Sahib, do you want to add to that?
Yes, first of all, I want to share that Foreign Minister of Pakistan inaugurated the conference, Mr. Shah Mahmood Qureshi, followed by the address of Minister of State for HRD and Overseas Pakistani, Mr. Zulfi Bukhari. And this was also addressed by Mr. Asad Umar, the Finance Minister of Pakistan, and also by Federal Minister for Commerce, Investment, Industries and Production, Mr. Abdul Razak Daud. Mr. Shafqat Mahmood was also part of the Federal Education Minister. The Federal Minister for Women Defense Production, Zubaira Jalal, also participated. The Federal Minister for IT and Telecom, Mr. Khalid Mahmood Siddiqui, also participated, and they all interacted with all the foreign delegates especially. And In addition of these federal ministers and the support of Board of Investment as well, Mr. Harun Sharif, the Minister of State, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Imran Khan, especially hosted all the foreign delegates and speakers from Pakistan as well at the Prime Minister's Secretariat. And we had a detailed meeting with him, a very good interaction, where he explained his vision, the vision of Pakistan, the government, what they are doing for investment, what they are doing for travelers, for doing for tourism. So there was a question answer session as well. This was a very productive session where all of our foreign delegates actually were satisfied, and they were very happy after interacting with him. So this was the first part of the interaction with the top leadership as far as the Prime Minister is concerned.
So a lot of proactive involvement.
Very
by the
proactive. And
leadership.
last night we hosted the President of Pakistan, Dr. Arif Alvi. He especially, because when I decided this conference and we planned this conference, I especially met him in Karachi, and I shared all the details, and he assured us for his complete support, and that's why he was with us yesterday. He was checking all the details through calls and everything. So yesterday he interacted with all the foreign delegates again during the dinner discussion, as Alexander also mentioned, and he was talking about, it was a big surprise for all foreign delegates that the President of Pakistan was talking about the data, AI, robotics and blockchain and so many other things. So he shared his narrative of Pakistan to the world community. And in addition of all these political leaders and the top leadership, Prime Minister, President, the Chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee, General Zubair Mahmood Hayat, also participated in our dinner day before yesterday. This was a dinner interaction. Yeah, last night was dinner interaction with Mr. Arif Alvi, the President of Pakistan, and day before yesterday, this was with the Chairman, Joint Chief of Staff Committee. And he shared the narrative of Pakistan through his eye from the forces point of view, and what we achieved during the war on terror, how Pakistan is secure. So this was a complete interaction. And in addition of these all meetings, we are now meeting with all the potential investors, a few organizations. We visited Telenor Pakistan head office in the morning. We just visited, we are reaching here from National Incubation Center, Islamabad, which is actually providing the startups facility. And all our other members are moving in different meetings. Today, the Parliamentary Committee of Canada-Pakistan Business Council, they hosted our Canadian delegation. There are 15 members from Canada here. A few are Canadians, few are Pakistani Canadians. So they hosted in the parliamentary room, and we are, I think, around 20-22 parliamentarians participated.
So a lot of activity going on at
multiple
that
activities. And same time you go to visit the Minal as well to show the real beautiful Islamabad on the first day, and the music and everything.
Yeah.
So
it's been a
very
very
short
enriching
time,
experience.
3-4 days, but we tried our best to produce show them the real Pakistan.
Yeah.
And this is fun, this is productivity, this is serious business as well,
Yeah.
this is serious learning as well, as far as the conference is concerned, and very well covered by the media. So I'm grateful to all the Pakistani organizations and my fellow colleagues in Pakistan who supported me, because this was not our work, this was actually the complete teamwork.
Yes.
Every person, every organization contributed, and we connected the dots.
Right.
So
Let's ask Sam now. Sam, you're a young entrepreneur, you're a founder of your own company. How would you suggest that similar entrepreneurs in Pakistan, how can they also participate in further wealth creation, becoming CEOs, having startups of their own companies, and exploit the innovation that's going on in the whole world? Because we've got a lot of talent in Pakistan. How would you suggest it can be a better environment in Pakistan for entrepreneurs like yourself? Because naturally, when you have startup businesses and they grow, then it generates employment as well.
That's right. That's right. And not only talent, but Pakistan has young talent.
Yes.
And we see that not only do the young talent have access to the right resources and networks and a global view, but also the right government. With Imran, he's not just any Prime Minister. He, now being His Excellency Imran Khan, was never His Excellency to me, because I've known him as a sports celebrity.
Right.
I'm from Australia. Of course, cricket is a
fan,
national religion
naturally.
for us as well.
Yeah.
And we feel that having sports stars who are models for young people bring the world closer together, because you bring people of different cultures and different creeds and different beliefs into the same stadium just to enjoy a ceremony.
Absolutely.
And that to me is beautiful, that with his vision, he's able to do this on a much more larger scale, on a much more political scale for the whole of Pakistan.
Okay, so Alexander, I wanted to ask you that as far as Russia and Pakistan's trade relations are concerned, right now it stands at about 800 billion and there's a huge potential to expand on that. So where do you see are the areas of furthering and improving trade relations apart from just energy or large projects in, say, hydrocarbons and things like that? There's also IT, there's so many other fields. So what would you suggest would be?
I think it
the
will
right
be
areas?
very nice if we can expand our relationship in the border and the cross of the IT and, let's say, energy. For example, remote energy. For Pakistani, for the next decade, will be important smart cities or smart nations, Internet of Things, drones, and all this new technology which brings your country in the leader's position. But for this you need a lot of computing powers and computing data processing, and you need a lot of energy, electricity, which is for now it's like a little bit problematic for country. But with the new technology, or especially for decentralized technology, you can use electricity, let's say in Russia, electricity to put your own machine computing processing machines, servers to the north part of Russia, where is a lot of electricity, very cold. You don't need to cool this computing, and have a result here. So it will be increase our relationship, and it will be synergy from technology and the energy also. And of course, IT solutions, we can exchange IT solutions a lot. And also the ports in Karachi and the new, it's called Northern Sea routes, will be very big opportunity for trade with each other, because it's make it shorter and all the trade cheaper, because from every container we can save $300-$500 for each container.
And you mentioned smart cities as well. Can you explain the concept of smart cities a little bit? Like exactly how far can that be developed?
You know, this simple phone and smartphone. A smartphone can make a lot of operation and help you a lot. So smart city, it's a city which is your transportation, your logistic, your environment, connecting with the citizens and make predictable lifestyle. So you will be interconnect with every single device in your city, which make your life easy and change your lifestyle a lot. So this is very important.
And Sam, do you want to add to that? Where do you think are the potential areas where we can remove barriers to trade with Pakistan and other countries, and where further work is needed?
Well, blockchain technology enables the creation of new wealth and new value that can cross borders.
Explain a little bit about blockchain technology. It's a relatively newer concept for most of the viewers that we have. So please explain a little bit, like in a short sense, if you can.
Well, it's just a distributed ledger system that has been modified so that it can provide 100% uptime and no hackability. So everything that is on a database today will eventually be on a blockchain. Coming back to this ability for the human being to uplift themselves by creating new forms of value and then exchanging it across borders, that's never been possible before. We used to have a fixation on gold being the international currency, now the US dollar. Now we can truly trade in a decentralized manner, and I believe what is lacking is the right regulation. Australia having the most advanced blockchain regulation in this space, we wish to bring these policies across to Pakistan so that we could create bilateral trade individually peer-to-peer.
Okay, so as far as do you want to conclude, because we're going to be coming to an end of this segment and we're going to go to a break shortly. So what would you like to say, that where do you feel is further potential that can be tapped into?
First phase actually executed very well. Now the second phase is their meetings and the follow-ups. And as a Corporate Pakistan Group and nutshell conferences, we are here to facilitate them. And this is an ongoing process, and this will be continued in the future.
Okay, great, wonderful. Thank you so much to all three of you for joining us today. Alexander, Sam, and Azwar Saab, thank you so much for joining us today and for being on our program.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, stay with us. We're going to take a short break and then we'll be right back with the second half of this program. Welcome back. We're going to continue our discussion with the participants of Leaders in Islamabad Business Summit. And now we have with us Professor Michael Sung, who's the co-director FinTech Research Center with Fudan University in China. And we have with us Evan Klassen, who's a best-selling author and a speaker, an entrepreneur from Germany. And he's also the founder of Liquidity. And we also have with us Gordon Liu, who's the president of Instanza Holdings Limited. Thank you so much, all of you, for being with us today and for being a part of our program. First of all, I'm going to ask all of you, especially, okay, let's start with Michael. What did you think? What are you taking away from your experience here in this summit and the interactions that you've had with people over here, and especially as far as business and entrepreneurship and the whole environment for that in Pakistan is concerned?
Yeah, this is my first trip to Pakistan. I have to say my eyes are wide open right now. Basically, there's this huge untapped potential in the Pakistani economy that I think most of the rest of the world is not fully aware of. You know, being the fifth largest population and certainly one of the large economies of the world in the future decades, there's a huge potential right here. And so we came here on an exploratory trip, and we have discovered just a huge amount of possibility here in the country, specifically with regard to the openness of the government. We had a chance to meet with Prime Minister Imran Khan, and also had a private dinner with the president, and just the expressed openness for people to come into the country and to co-work with the governments. And also very heartening was the fact that the president mentioned a lot of these new initiatives in AI and blockchain policy, and we hope to be able to do our part to build the economy in this way. Yeah.
Okay, Evan, do you want to add to that? What was your impression? What are you going to take away from the summit?
Well, for me, I'm someone who loves attending different conferences all around the world, and I have to say that, it was the first time for delegation, and I invited 16 of my friends globally to join us. And the quality of people that attended the conference, from some of the top leaders in government, right, from, as you mentioned, from the president, from the chief of staff on the army, and all the amazing support that we have, but also the incredible support from local business leaders, the heads of IBMs, the heads of Telenor, the heads of some of the companies that we all know on a global scale that all attended and shared their experience. I have to say it was a very transformational, emotional experience to me, because, I really, really see that, I've learned as an entrepreneur that timing in life is everything. And vision is to see things before other people see. And what this allowed us is to connect what someone else already, like Asfar, who has been gracious to invite us to this conference, always was sharing with us, Evan, your perception will change what you know about Pakistan, right? Because over the last 20 years, Pakistan didn't have an easy time. Yeah. And I think the excitement to realize what the potential is, like we came here blind and our eyes were open to the truth. Right? And now we're going back home with open eyes. And I think that's the exciting part, to see the opportunity, what this country will experience over the next 5 to 10 years is going to be massive, and we're excited to be part of it.
Okay, so, and Gordon, what was your opinion of this whole experience?
This is my first trip to Pakistan. I was quite amazed by the people here. They're very kind. I've been traveling because we operate a company that is to messenger app in the Islamic religion countries. So I travel to other countries a lot. So the difference I feel here is people are more humble and they are more proactive and they are willing to interact, unlike some other countries that's already very lazy and they lay back. They don't want to adopt the new ideas. So here I think you guys have a huge potential, but the government is new and they are willing to explore new things. And we believe according to Ivan, I heard that here people don't have a lot of bank account, but everybody have a phone. So we believe that the potential is huge for mobile payment going forward. So I think in China, they experienced a lot of innovation in the past 10 years, and the reason is that China adopted internet during the revolution, and we believe that Pakistan in the next 10 years. You guys, if you adopt new technologies such as AI, blockchain, you guys can leap forward the new revolution, because because you people doesn't have to be hold back by the existing technology that is already adopted. So you guys can leap forward to the new technologies that is like blockchain, and then the payment can be the third generation. Bypass those in China or in other India, like these countries. So I believe the opportunity is huge. Yeah.
Okay. Evan, you're an author. You've written this book, Think and Grow Rich Today, and you've also co-authored with Brian Tracy, Transform. Now, this is all about generating wealth. Now that Pakistan is on a certain trajectory towards economic growth, how can we empower our youth and our younger generation, because we have this huge youth bulge, to become entrepreneurs and to create their own wealth, and rather than just to be ready for employment, to actually become business owners so that they can create more employment for others. So what would you say about that? Because you've written about this, and what would you like to tell the youth of Pakistan?
Well, first of all, it's just hearing you and thinking about 135 million young people that are here below the age of 30. It gives me goosebumps. It gives me a tremendous humility to understand that if we have an opportunity to touch their hearts on a leadership level, because if I can go back for a second, I was actually born in the poorest country of Central Asia, in Dushanbe, Tajikistan, as one of 9 kids. There was civil war also going on, 100,000 people died, and it was a really pretty crazy environment. And when I was 8 years old, my family is German, so we went back to Germany, and they put me back from 3rd grade to 2nd grade. And I, on top of already struggling with self-confidence and this belief that that I will never amount to anything great, thought I was a dumb kid, and so when I was 18 years of age, I really struggled with my identity. I was at loss of direction. I was really, never believed that I will amount to anything in life.
I'm sure a lot of kids in Pakistan can relate to that as well. So this is great. So yeah, please
carry on.
Yes,
and I even struggled with suicide, right? I thought I want to take my life. There's no purpose for me to live, right? I'm destined, because my past, all my kind of a pre-directed of where I need to go in life. And when I was 20 years of age, somebody gave me a book, and somebody gave me an audiobook to listen about personal development, leadership, mindset, education. And honestly, that was such a defining moment in my life that completely transformed everything about my journey, right? Because today, I've been blessed to travel over 40 different countries. I have a couple of books that I co-authored, and I've built businesses in 40 different plus countries. And we've had a chance to, even on this trip, had a private dinner with the president and celebrate actually my birthday yesterday, which was really a world-class experience. But more important, and was Imran Khan as well, and other amazing people, right? And I go back to this journey, right? Where a lot of young people that are in this country that maybe are born in what they would call unfortunate circumstances, right? And there's 2 ways to go about it, to where you say, hey, you know what? I've been born this way and I'm going to accept it, so I'm going to live a miserable life, barely making it. Or you can create your own story and say, because I was born in this environment, because I know what I don't want to have in my life, I'm going to do everything I can to transform my mind. And I believe that there's 2 education. One is a formal education where people go get to school, get a good job, and do their best to be the best student they can be, and that's
Yeah.
a very important education. But what transformed me was not my formal education, but what was my life's education through leadership, entrepreneurial education, mindset education. And this is actually what I think what this country, will, on those young people, if we can tap into their potential, right, which they have, I bet, just like me, who struggles, there's a lot of kids that if only we can activate their potential, their belief, their trust, their vision for their life.
Yeah, and turn them into business leaders. That would be
And
great.
give them financial education, entrepreneurial education,
Yes.
instead of just having an employment mindset to where they have an entrepreneurial mindset. Instead of going and saying, how do I, I'm part of a problem where I don't have a job, to say, how do I solve this problem by becoming an entrepreneur and create a job? And that starts with really a transformation of mind.
Right.
And we're very, very excited, actually, because we're working on an incredible platform that we believe can transform tens of millions of
That's
leaders.
great.
Especially
That's
here.
so inspirational, just hearing you speak. Michael, I'd like to go on and ask you about the relationship with China and Pakistan right now. It's mostly focused on modernizing infrastructure and strengthening energy projects and things like that, large-scale infrastructure projects. How can we further tap into the IT industry? And as far as exporting IT, where Pakistanis are concerned, we export to other parts of the world, and also where the area of artificial intelligence is. What would you like to say about that?
Yeah, so the Shanghai Institute, International School of Finance, is the premier advanced finance institution in China. And so I run the FinTech Research Center there, and we're trying to take the best thought leadership in the world in terms of the practices, business practices, the technologies, and the business model innovation, and apply those technologies to new finance innovation that we can apply around the world. And so I think there's a huge opportunity here in Pakistan. As you know, there's CPEC, there's over $60 billion of investment in infrastructure. And I think using new finance innovation tools, such as blockchain and also the associated AI technologies, we can actually radically transform the country and bring a lot of benefit to Pakistan. So as an example, basically the premier technology, the next internet technology of this day is called blockchain. And it's a way for the friction-free transfer of value in a trusted way without centralized authorities, right? And so I think there's a huge opportunity now, okay, because blockchain is at a stage where the technology is just maturing. The regulation is maturing. The business model and also the industry traction is just maturing around the world, literally this year in 2019.
Right.
And so there's an opportunity for Pakistan to really take a lead in the world while everyone's trying to figure this out. If there's sort of enlightened policy by the new government, which is very open-minded, to leapfrog the rest of the world to take advantage of this. So it's almost like if I told you that, in 1997, sort of like, hey, maybe you should look at this internet thing. It's looking back, this will be the transformative technology of its day. And Pakistan can leverage this to its advantage to solve a lot of the problems that Pakistan has. So for example, Pakistan needs a lot of foreign direct investment.
Yeah.
Pakistan needs to interface with the international finance system. Pakistan needs to demonstrate a anti-corruption, anti-money laundering platform of transparency so that this investment and foreign companies want to come in. It just so happens that blockchain and other distributed ledger technologies can provide this framework for the country to be able to do that. And in doing so, will attract the whole world's entrepreneurs, the whole world's technology and projects, and importantly, investment into the country.
Because it's a kind of a more secure system as well that we were discussing earlier, right? Gordon, can you please also tell us a bit about your Soma app? Because this has 100 million users and it's used in the Middle East and North Africa, but it's also in Pakistan. Yeah. So being a young entrepreneur yourself, tell us a bit about your app and how does that work? And in Pakistan especially, it's very interesting.
Yeah. So actually, I think there's a lot of migrant workers from Pakistan in the Middle Eastern countries such as Dubai, Jeddah, Saudi, and those people, they have needs to call back home every day. So sometimes, WhatsApp they cannot use, so they use our app. So we have higher quality of, connection. So I think going forward, we are going to integrate some payment function to allow these people to wire money back to their hometown. So because they earn obviously salaries in those countries, and then they want to probably wire some back. So I think using the existing payment system, that is the banking system, is took a lot of time and a lot of cost. So like Michael mentioned, the blockchain can be a solution, and we are looking into that field as well. Although we are not a blockchain company, but so we are adopting these technologies, and I believe Pakistan will be a good start point to adopt these technologies in our app. Because we actually, before I come, I don't know there's how many users here, but when I look into that, I was very surprising to see we have over 1 million users already in Pakistan. So we believe that these users have their relatives in the Middle East, in Egypt, or in Dubai, probably in Riyadh. So they have a demand for this kind of solution. Right. And when we talk to the entrepreneurs earlier today and for the past 2 days, we believe that the country, including the president, prime minister, they are not worried about adopting these new ideas. Unlike some other countries, people are very protective. Maybe it's because their existing interest group is already making money on the existing technology, and they are not willing to try new things. I think that's as a white paper for Pakistan, I think you can draw a very good picture going forward, because there is no backpack on your back, so you can go very fast, and like Michael said, you can jump forward, surpass these other countries in a very short period of time, if the policy and and the government execute in the right way.
Right, okay. So Michael, Pakistan intends to train about 10,000 artificial intelligence engineers. So what do you think is the potential where they can be utilized internationally, and especially in China? Because artificial intelligence is the future. So what would you say about that?
Yeah, as you know, artificial intelligence is the other major transformative technology that's going to disrupt any and all industries.
Yes.
And here in Pakistan, we have a huge youthful population, which can be trained to do a lot of outsourcing tasks and things like that. There's a huge human potential here. And while the indigenous population and ecosystem may not be able to support that demand, certainly abroad, especially in China, there is a 10x need for both artificial intelligence as well as blockchain engineers. And so what we're trying to do here is create a decentralized ecosystem where AI talent can now find its counterpart in terms of large companies that need that talent.
Okay, so you all visited the incubation centers when on this trip over here. Those are areas where they're trying to stimulate young entrepreneurs to kind of launch their startup businesses. Evan, what were your thoughts about the incubation centers that Pakistan has right now, as far as them being a good, solid platform for entrepreneurs to launch their startups?
I think I actually was very, very impressed how well thought through the incubation center was, and already in a short time, the success that they've already achieved. We actually had one of the startups present, and I believe that entrepreneurship is at the core of every economy, right? And creating an environment that will grow and inspire other people, creating an easy way for people to enter entrepreneurship, right? Through an incubation center where you're in an environment where there's other young entrepreneurs that are maybe battling the same challenges, right? Where you can sometimes co-share ideas, co-share resources to create that success, right? And where you have an environment where it creates belief like, hey, keep on doing it. It's hard, it's tough. And at the same time, you have the government driving that support. Yeah. You have other economy or other business leaders that are supporting it and creating belief in those young entrepreneurs. I think it's an incredible model to facilitate growth and create innovation in the country. And as Michael mentioned, I believe that Pakistan, being I think number 3 or number 4 largest outsourcing nation, it just demonstrates, right, the ability of those people to learn, to grow. And if we can and what I believe as government and as business leaders locally to inspire those people, right? And say, hey, go and start your own businesses. Here's an environment, here's maybe capital, right? Or the government creates maybe even specific programs that will allow entrepreneurs to maybe take some parts of their taxes and maybe fund some kind of startups or different models that could inspire the growth of startups. It'd be incredible, and it would lead to massive success in the country.
Right, okay, great. So this brings us to the end of this segment, because unfortunately we could go on speaking with you 3-4 hours because there's so much to discuss. But I'd like to thank you all for joining us and participating on our program today. Michael, Evan, Gordon, thank you so much for taking out your time. Viewers, thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.